Forward. Hello, everybody, and welcome to VEG Networking YVR. Today, we are onboarding two new members, Sandra Nomoto and Brigitte. And we're going to speak with Sandra first, ask her our 8 famous questions, and let's get rolling. So, Sandra, why don't you tell us what your vegan or plant-based origin story is?
My story started at the end of 2007 when I saw Earthlings. And yeah, it took me a couple of years to eliminate meat from my diet. Vegan was always the goal, but I didn't really set a timeline to it. And then 2017, gave up seafood, and a year after that, found out I was sensitive to dairy after dealing with years and years of an undiagnosed digestive condition. So yeah, after I cleansed dairy for 4 months, I was like, well, I guess I'm vegan now because I can do this. And yeah, so April will be my 3-year vegan anniversary.
How did you find the transition as with your family as you were going through the process?
I told my dad was the first family member I told, and he sort of laughed in my face because he was like, I was raised on a farm and I slaughtered goats when I was 12, but you know, I just did my own thing. And over time, yeah, when I completely cut meat out of my diet, they knew I was serious about it. And yeah, didn't really prod or anything. Like they know me as a person that sort of lives by my values. So yeah, and yeah, like family gatherings aren't that difficult. You know, I'm the one that brings the staple salad and, you know, vegan entree, and everyone can enjoy that as well. So yeah, even though none of them have made the transition, yeah, they know why I do it. So it's fine.
What is your entrepreneur's origin story? Because I noticed that you started with conscious public relations, and I think that's where we were first connected, was through media and through marketing and PR. And now you graduated into this new iteration, which is the content doctor. And so tell us more about just sort of when you decided you were going solo. Like, I don't know if you worked in a corporate background before, sort of what that transition was like for you. Was, you know, the nerves, or if it was full confidence, and how did you move forward through your process?
Yeah, so I started my first job right out of school was at a public relations firm. So I started out as an intern, got hired there as a contractor full time, and left the company because we did mostly event planning there, and I knew that I didn't want to specialize in doing events, but I was really fascinated by media relations. So at the time I was leaving, my sister was running her own business, and I saw her being her own boss, and I was like, I could do that too. So kind of, yeah, like ignorantly jumped in as a solopreneur. And I think that's a good thing because, you know, when you don't know the things that you don't know and that are scary, then yeah, you don't have to stop yourself. So I started out solo as an independent publicist. Rebranded to Conscious PR in 2012, slowly started adding people to my team, expanding into doing social media. And yeah, around 2016 is when I knew things in the media landscape were really changing here in Canada. And if you weren't doing, or I would say making the move to digital marketing instead of more traditional media, you're going to be left behind. So the initial idea was to move it into a full service communications firm. So I started partnering up, and the goal was to launch that in 2017, but it sort of fell flat and partners were going in different directions. So I knew I didn't want to do people's Facebooks for the rest of my life, and closed up shop in 2018, and didn't know really after that what I was going to do. But I kind of had this aha moment when I was meditating at the end of 2019 and realizing I'm coming up on a few years as a vegan, or at least eating vegan, and seeing the rise of the industry and knowing that I'm a writer. I'm going to be writing my entire life, whether it's professionally or personally. And I just thought, what a great way to combine those skills. And yeah, so I launched the Content Doctor last year, and I'm just a year into this new business, but I feel like this is the right track for me, and I think it's the right track for anyone when you use your skills in a way that aligns really well with your values, and if we can make the world a bit of a better place, that's always good too. So yeah, that's where I am now, focusing on content writing and editing for vegan businesses, ideally. And then I also, because I had some time last year during the pandemic to take some courses in book editing and formatting, I can help authors with those types of services too.
Are you finding that you're working mostly with local vegan businesses, or are you jumping internationally into digital content creation?
Definitely open to international. Most of my clients right now are local, but yeah, I have worked with a few US clients last year, namely VKind, which is a new app and online platform that launched last year. And yeah, they got me writing some blog articles for them. So that's great.
And how are you finding these new clients? Is it through Facebook groups or LinkedIn?
Primarily referrals. So yeah, so just folks that I networked with over the years who know me and my work, and yeah, being able to transition into more of a contractor and copywriter or editor type of role versus managing full PR campaigns like I was doing before. And then yeah, and I'm doing things like this. So joining vegan networks. I'm really familiar with Vegan Mainstream. I just joined the Vegan Women's Leadership Network, based in Australia. So hoping to jump on their virtual meetup next week, which is the same time as this one. So it's like, it's unfortunate. And yeah, just trying to, yeah, network. I have listings up on VKind and just, yeah, learning about all the different directories that are out there for vegan professionals, and yeah, Facebook groups, as you said too.
So what are some of the trends that you're seeing in marketing for 2021? Like you had indicated that, of course, now it is literally all digital. It seems like jumping on the various platforms like TikTok and Snapchat. Are you working with clients on the sort of trend-based marketing platforms, or are you sticking more to just really solid digital advice for clients?
I mean, yeah, I would say I'm not really in digital marketing. I'm a content writer and editor, and I really want to be specific about that, because even though those pieces are required in marketing, I don't want to do your videos. I don't want to be on TikTok for you. Like, that's just not my game. And yes, you may have to be on those platforms, and I may tell, you know, clients or potential clients that this is where you need to be, because if your audience is there, that's where you need to be. But when I come in, it's my sweet spot is more long form copy, so website copy, newsletters, or other types of emails, blogs, articles. I may do some social copy for clients, but yeah, I will not post for you.
So what does 2021 look like for you, solopreneur, in the vegan market?
Quite honestly, I just want to grow the momentum that I built last year, because I launched last year not knowing what was going to happen. It was a test year, and I found this community is amazing. Like, this community of businesses that are growing and professionals. All the communities that I've been in contact with so far have been really welcoming. And yeah, I did really well financially last year. I made the most money that I ever did in my agency. So that kind of tells me, like, I'm on the right track. I don't need a team of staff to do well, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but I really love working solo and working one-on-one with clients. And yeah, I just want to build the momentum of that.
Fantastic. So in this journey, since you started your vegan and your business, is there any charitable organizations that you have been supporting along the way, or is this something that you want to really grow into in the future?
I may in the future. I'm not currently supporting any animal related or vegan related charities. I did a lot of donations last year, more than I ever have. And I made a really substantial donation to Water First, which I've sort of had my eye on, and they're the only charitable organization that I know of, at least in Canada, that is working to bring clean water access to remote Canadian communities. And like in this day and age, I find it preposterous that Canadians do not have access to clean water. And yes, there are other great charities internationally that are doing that type of work, but for me, I want to help as local as I can, and that means working with a local charity. They are national, but they work mostly out of Ontario because that's where the most need is. And what's great about them is they work on building a system. So they put the facility that's needed to bring clean water access to the community, and what they usually do is hire employees in that community to run them. So it's this really great circular system, I suppose. And for me, like, I just want to build on that. Like, for me, food security and water access for every person is important, because if we're not, if no one's healthy, we can't then move the next step to educating them on veganism, right? So for me, it's about people first, and then yes, everything else after that.
Oh, this is, I know this is Justin's favorite question, because he is all about books, podcasts, and apps. Are there any, or which ones are you using to help build your business, or get you through the pandemic, or just to lift spirits or put you to sleep? What are you listening to?
I'm big on books and podcasts. This past year, I didn't really touch on any vegan books, but yeah, I'm big on podcasts. So I had to write down all the vegan ones I listened to. There's quite a few. Awesome Vegans with Elizabeth Alfano, Animal Voices Radio here in Vancouver, Think Plant-Based, which is also here in Vancouver, Forked Up, the Ritual Podcast, and then Vegan Boss by Shauna and Megan in this group. So yeah. And then there's many others I also listen to, but those are the core vegan ones.
It's interesting. This is like the first meeting that Shauna hasn't been at.
Yeah,
so I'm curious, when you're listening to podcasts, is this something that you're doing sort of in your alone time, or is it when you're sort of out and about? I know people use podcasts for different reasons, not only for educating and for finding, philosophies that align with themselves, but when do you find the best time to listen to podcasts is for you?
I actually do it during the workday. So I'm at my desk. So long as I'm not writing, if I can't listen and write at the same time, but if I'm doing other things, it's always in the background. And then on weekends, if I'm sort of, not really up to anything, I'll throw on another podcast.
Have you been a special guest on any of the podcasts that you mentioned?
I was on Animal Voices, I think December, so just not too long ago. Actually, it was in November, because November was Vegan Month, and the host just found one of the blogs that I wrote in 2019 and invited me on. So yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, if you could share that link with me, I can send it out to the group so they can give them something to listen to. Okay. Are there any companies you love to follow and support? Of course, we're talking mostly local, but if there are some international companies that you feel that are really changing the retail landscape or the food industry landscape that you want to throw a shout out to, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, I try and follow all the vegan companies locally, just so I support their content, follow in terms of what they're doing. So I will follow everyone here if if I haven't already. I'm subscribed to a few newsletters, so that's how I find out what's going on more in the US and internationally. One client that I just started writing for is called VEGgie, so it's shopveggie.com, VEGII, and they're sort of the newest e-commerce platform to start offering vegan products. So they're based in, I think they're based in Kelowna, but they have staff sort of everywhere across North America. And so, yeah, it's really exciting to see a lot of these new businesses popping up and supporting the lifestyle.
Well, I know that Veggie found me because I have an email. As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, I got an email from them the last couple of days. And I was going to look into them further to see if it was local or if it was an international company. Um, do you have any advice for fellow business owners and entrepreneurs that you have little tips or tricks or advice that you've picked up in the last couple of years that you would like to share with us?
I'd say just tell your story. There's a lot of marketing tricks out there, but I think so long as you're on the right platforms, you're sharing authentically, not using any, not copying the style of any other brand, and connecting with your audience in a genuine way, I think that's the way to
Puppy.
Can't be helped.
Yeah, no, we've had construction next door for a year and a half, and they're sort of at that point where the jackhammering is stopped, but occasionally there's like this big weird drill sound, and she has to run around in circles crying. So hopefully that's the only one today. I wanted to actually, because I follow you on probably from all 7 of my accounts, how much time per day do you spend strategizing and posting your Insta stories? Because I know that you do a lot of Insta stories, which is something that I don't do. How do you, what sort of brought you to that point where you felt that Insta stories was really definitely somewhere where you needed to be? And how did you sort of come up with your branding with the purple and your font and everything?
Oh, so I'll start with the brand first. So I launched my personal site in 2017, and that was conceived by my web designer, Azalea Moen. She's great. And yeah, and it worked out really well because I didn't know I was going to start this new business. So when I did, I just threw up a new services page. And yeah, I've been using my personal site ever since, and I still get a lot of compliments on it. You know, like it goes with the purple hair and everything. So, thank you for that. And then I honestly don't really have a strategy for Instagram stories. If I know I don't want to share it in the main feed, like that's when I'll put it on stories. And I know it's a piece of content that I, you know, if it's gone in 24 hours. So, and I don't want people to, it's okay if people don't look at it for a long time. I'll post there. And you know what, this is why I'm not a social media expert. I only recently knew about the little airplane shaped icon, where if you press on that you can share it to your own story. And this entire time I was like screenshotting people's images and posting it to stories, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like this magic icon was already there. So that's probably why it looks like I'm sharing a whole lot more, because I know that button's there now, whereas before I was doing it a very archaic way.
Are you on Android or iPhone?
I'm on an iPhone.
Yeah, see with Android, we as far as I can tell, there isn't a way for us to share Insta stories. We do have to screen snap, unless
Oh,
somebody here knows any different. But I've looked it up on Google because people will message me and say, "Hey, can you share my story?" And I'd be like, "Yes, I'd love to." Oh, I can't. I can't do that picture within picture where you says view post. I don't have that option, so it's very difficult for me to engage with clients and their content. Snickers.
well, there you go. See, I didn't even know there was a difference in how they build the different apps. So
Well, you notice it when you're looking at people's social media. If on Facebook they've got bold and italics in their story post, then you know that it's done on iPhone. I can only get that if I write it in Word or a different platform and then cut and paste it over. Sometimes it sticks and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, whenever I see
I thought people might be using a different app, because apps can do that too.
I have 2 brands that I work with all of their Facebook posts have like different size fonts and italics and bolds. And I tell them, stop doing that. It makes you look like you're really trying too hard. And it's kind of like 30 years ago when you had a green font and, the red and blue all in the same email for like, capitals all over the place. It just looks so 30 years ago. It's kind of weird. Um, any last things that you would like to share with us before we get to know Brigitte a bit?
I know you're probably going to share this in the email anyway, but thecontentdoctor.co, that's my website, and my name all across social media, Sandra Nomoto, so that's how you can get in touch with me.
Perfect.